everybody, it's Wendy. Welcome. Today we are going to do the bokeh technique. So if you're not familiar with that, you must be living under a rock. I'm just kidding. Everybody's doing the bokeh technique. So it's spelled B-O-K-E-H, and it's a technique used in photography where they use filters to change up light and make it look really cool. So I will be showing you how to do that on a card, and I'm going to show you 3 different ways. So this video is going to be kind of long, so grab a cup of coffee, sit back and relax because we are going to get started, okay? So the first way that you can create the background for this technique is by using a piece of Whisper White cardstock. You're going to choose your color combos. So I have chosen Blushing Bride, Wisteria Wonder, and Coastal Cabana. And these are all Stampin' Up! Colors, obviously. Most of you know that if you watch my channel. So let me get all these open. Alright, so then we are going to use sponges. So these are our round sponges that come in a package like this. There's 3 of them in a pack. And I cut them into 4 so that they're little sponges like this. And so we're going to get started. I'm going to use the Coastal Cabana first. And I'm just going to ink up the center using a circular motion of my card base. Okay? Then I'm going to come in with the Wisteria Wonder. And I'm going to add color over here. And I'm just using a swirling motion. And I'm going to go all around. And I'm going to use the Blushing Bride. I'm going to do the same thing. So, through the magic of television, this is what it looks like when it's finished. Okay? So, I'm trying to make this not like a million, miles long, this video, since we have 3 things to get through. So, when you do the sponging technique, you get this look. Okay? So, that's these 3. Alright, so then the next technique I have for you is Whisper White cardstock again. I'm going to choose a new color palette. I'm using Night of Navy, Perfect Plum, and Island Indigo. I'm going to open them up. While you're at it, I've made some changes, or while I'm at it, I've made some changes on my website, and so you can still sign up for my free exclusive tutorials by going to my website. But instead of the button being in my sidebar, it's now all the way across the top of my website blog. So just go there and sign up for free exclusive tutorials. All we need is your name and email. And you get entered to get free prizes from me. I'll email you if you are on the list to win each month. And yeah, I send out free exclusive tutorials and updates. So make sure you sign up for that. All right, so now we're going to be using sponge daubers. So that's these little guys. And when they come to you in the mail, they come like this. So they're just clear. So, not clear, white. And then I use a pen and I write the name on the side. I really need to label them because the pen rubs off. But anyway, so we're going to start out using Night of Navy. I'm going to dip that in my ink and I'm just going to swirl this all around. And so this technique's kind of cool because it's a little bit harsher look, I guess is the way I can describe it. And you get these more like definite lines and technique. And so here's what it looks like when you're all finished. Okay, so you have a lot of different tones and colors and it's just beautiful. It comes out great. Okay, so that is using the sponge daubers. Moving on to number 3. We need a piece of cardboard. And I have a piece of watercolor cardstock here. And it is cut at, all of these are cut at 4 by 5 1/4, just so you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use blue painter's tape. Now, I've seen people use washi tape, but I have experienced that when I use washi tape on watercolor paper, that it tears my watercolor paper when I pull it off. So that just might be a Wendy problem. That's totally possible. However, it's happened to me enough times that now I only use blue painter's tape. So we're going to get this all taped down. Now my color palette for this one, I chose 4 re-inkers, okay? So I'm using Real Red, Melon Mambo, Pumpkin Pie, Pumpkin Pie, and Daffodil Delight. And then I've taken my little paint palette and I've dripped 6 to 7 drops of each re-inker in each, what are those called? Pod, spot, I don't know, well. And then I took a little bit of water and I filled each one of them up so they had water in them, okay? So now, I need my water. It's over here, sorry. So now what we're gonna do is I have 2 containers of water because this will muddy up your water really quick, and so it's good to have extra water on hand. Then I have my paper here on the right hand side and my brushes on the right hand side. And really my ink should be over here too. Let's see if we can make that happen. Because that way you don't end up dripping onto your masterpiece, okay? So I have all my stuff over here on my right side because I'm right-handed, and then my paper's over here. So what we're gonna do, sorry, I'm still recovering from that cold. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this nice wide brush really wet, and we are going to just apply water to the entire surface. So it is really wet, like water's almost standing on it, okay? Then I'm going to use my size 8 round brush, get it nice and wet, and I'm going to start with the red, and I'm just going to dab color, okay? And then I'm going to clean it, get some nice water, go in again, add my Melon Mambo. Now you see how it's spreading? It's spreading like that because the paper's so wet. If it quits spreading, that means you need to add more water. So, whoops, I just made a mess. Okay, so now I'm using my Daffodil Delight and adding some of that in. And I think I'm going to come down here and add some red. Now see, I want this more diluted, so I'm just going to add water, not ink. Just add water, not ink. Okay. And then I think I want a little yellow here. And I'm going to go for some more pumpkin pie right there. And I don't want it that dark. So again, I'm just going to add water and it dilutes it. Okay. So this is my finished project for my watercolor and background, my watercolor background. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set this aside because I want to let it dry. And this is the one I finished earlier. Very cool, huh? Okay, so let me get all this stuff out of the way and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am back and now we are going to get started making our bouquet background. So I have 3, you're not really going to be able to see these. I have 3 templates here and they have shapes cut out of them. And I did that using our awesome framelits. So I used the smallest and second smallest heart for one template. And I used the 3 smallest circle framelits for another template. And then I used this 2 smallest stars for another template. So I have 3 different templates, and I just used window sheets to cut those out of. So a trick that you would want to do so that you don't end up making a big mess is before you get started, you would want to write top on each of these, because that way you know that that is the top, because once you get ink on the top of here, you wouldn't want to accidentally do it this way and mess up your whole project. I'll show you what I mean as we go. So I'm just taking a permanent marker, Sharpie, and writing top on each of these. So we're going to start out using the stars, because to me, this needs stars. I don't know about you guys, but that's how it makes me feel. Very starry. Okay, so I'm using a sponge dauber, and we're going to use Craft Stampin' Up! Ink, Whisper White. So this is pigment-based ink from Stampin' Up! You really need to have something like that to do this technique. And we are going to just start out by inking all around, and then you want to just lift and move. You really want to make sure that you lift straight up and go straight down. Okay? You don't want to move this template around, because what will happen is it will smear. This is not all the way dry because it's craft ink. So just keep that in mind when you're doing this technique. You want to really make sure you don't smear stuff around. Otherwise you just kind of ruin the whole look. Okay, so we're just going to keep going here. And we're just inking in. And we're going to go up here and do another one. And then I'm going to do a lighter one here with a little bit lighter touch. And that kind of will create that dimension, okay? So you can do them heavier, you can do them lighter. They're super fun to do. I'm going to do a really light touch here. It's just such a fun technique. Fun, fun. And you really want to do a lot of them, because if you don't, it doesn't really give the look. That's the best I can describe it. It doesn't give that bouquet look if you don't do a bunch of them. Let's see, I'm going to do this one this way. And I'm kind of going off the edge here. Okay, so there is my first bouquet card. I love how it looks, so pretty. Then we have the sponge dauber one. You know what, let me show you all three of these together so you can see the difference in the look. So we have the watercolor, the sponges, the Stampin' sponges, and these are sponge daubers. So three very different background looks, okay? So let's go ahead and move to the next one. So this one, the sponge dauber one, I'm going to do with circles, because I used a circular motion with my sponge dauber, and as you can see, I already kind of have these light and dark spots. So I think it's going to look really cool to do circles on this one. So again, just a circular motion over the top. And these are pretty light, so I'm going to add a darker one here. And I'm just adding the sizes that I want. Now this template has 3 sizes, so it's kind of cool. So see, like this one I did darker. I got a little too much ink around the edge there. So I'm kind of doing my bigger circles in the back. Which is what you want to do. You want to have your larger images in the background. Whoops. Lifting straight up. And then I'm coming in with my medium. And I'm going to overlap both of these here. Okay, and now I'm going to add one right here. Whoops. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my little circle. So this is going to really add some fun extra size and dimension. All right, we're about done. Okay, so that is the second one. It's just so beautiful, such a beautiful technique. Now these will take a while to dry because that's that craft ink. So you definitely don't want to be smearing your fingers through it, okay? All right, so for our last one, it's our softest look. I'm going to do hearts. So we're going to start out with bigger hearts here in the back. And the deal is, so see, it's a very, very light. I don't know if you can tell. The lighter your background, the harder it is going to be to see your bouquet technique. So definitely think about that when you're doing your background. The darker really stands out more. And you can also just be a little bit heavier handed like I'm doing now because my background's so light. So I'm really like giving extra oomph here in my ink. Whoops. All right, kind of had some problems with that one. And then I'm going to add my smaller heart. Just kind of all over. Having a really hard time seeing this one. I went too light on the background, I think. But I wanted a really soft look for my hearts. So it's okay. I'm not super happy with it. But that's how you learn, right? You try something and sometimes it works perfect and other times not so much. Okay, add one right here. And there we have it. There are my backgrounds. So you can go over to my website, blog, whatever you want to call it, to see the finished cards with each of these backgrounds. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.